everybody, this is Michelle with Creative Operation, and I'm back with video number 2 on our Folio project that we're making. I did the last video on how to create this cover and how to do the bindings and all of that, how to do the keyhole closure with the ribbon. And today what we're going to do is do the page assembly that goes inside and then start working on the pages. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the pages. Now, this is a model that I created, and I used different colored papers to hopefully show you kind of what it'll look like. But when you open up the book, it opens up like this, and then a page goes like this, and like this last page, and then this page right here is the same page as that. So that's all one piece right there. This is what creates the binding to the back of the book. And these pages are kind of added on to that. With the different size gussets that I used, when you glue it down, it will lay flat. When you open it all up, it will not pull on this when you have it adhered down. And then, so it's really a basic 4 pieces of paper that you put in the book. And then that's it. You add things to it, and that's what makes this book so cool. So when you look at the book, this is my finished one that I made, the Home Sweet Home. When you look at it and you open it all up, so I have this part untied, but this is tied with a ribbon. So this is the first page. It opens up like that to reveal these 2 pages, and then it goes 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, and all of that extra stuff, that's all add-ons onto those pages. Isn't that neat? And then this is the binding piece right here. And it is merely glued down to create that binding, which is really awesome. It folds flat. When you open it up, it has nice wide gussets, and it can hold a complete ton of pictures. So let's get started on how to make the base pages. We'll close this up, we'll get rid of this, and we'll get our 4 pieces of paper that we need to make the base. Okay, so as I said, you need 4 pieces of paper. You need 3 pieces of cardstock at 8.5 by 11, and you need 1 at 12 by 12. I used 110-pound cardstock because you do need stability with these pages, since there is only basically 1 piece binding the whole thing to the book. You really need to have it sturdy. So 110 cardstock, that's recommended, okay? And then when you get done, the finished page sizes will be 7.5 by 10. Okay, so let's get started with how to put these things together. So you only need the 4 pieces of cardstock. So let's start with page 1. And I'm going to call these A, B, C, D, just because that's what I did. So page A is 8.25 by 10. So 8.25 across by 10. And then you're going to score it at 7.5 and 7.75. All right. So on the 8.5 or 8.25 side, score it at 7.5 and 7.75. So that gives you a 1/4 inch gusset, and it gives you a 1/2 inch binding piece. Okay, so that's page A. That's the first one that opens up towards the right. So then page B is 8.5 by 10, and you're going to score this one at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and that gives you a 1/2 inch gusset and a 1/2 inch binding piece for the next page. So you're going to take, this is page B, 8.5 by 10. So you're going to take page A, which was the 8.25 by 10, and you're going to adhere this tab to this edge. Pretty simple. Okay. Just line them up nice and straight. Boom, done. Okay. So now page A is attached to page B. Okay? So then the next page, I'm going to put this aside for a second. The next page is page C. Now this piece is 12 by 10, so 12 inches across, 10 high. And you're going to score this one at 3.75 and 4.5. So when you do that, you're going to end up with page C, a 3/4 inch gusset, and this is your binding piece that's going to end up being behind all of this. Spit it out, Michelle. Okay, so page B, so we have page A adhered to B. This is page B with the 1/2 inch gusset, and this piece, this edge is going to adhere to this. And again, line it up nice and straight. Don't go into the score line. Go just outside of the score line. And put her down. Okay? So now you'll end up with a piece that looks like that from the top. Page A, page B, and then page C, and it wraps around like that. Okay? The last thing we're going to do is page D. All right? And page D, you're going to, it's an 8.5 by 10, 8.5 by 10. You're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Okay? And then you're going to fold those score lines, so you're going to end up with your page, your 1/2 inch gusset, and a tab. And then page D, so we're going to flip it over, because page D, if you open up your book, so here's the back part of page C, right? We're going to adhere this piece right there to this edge right here, okay? Okay, so there's that. So now this whole thing looks like that. Let's see if, yep, it's in. Okay, so page A, B, C, and then D behind. Okay, and you can see that you're going to have 1/2 inch gussets. The back page will have another extra little bit of a gusset. And then this is the base of the book. The rest of it is all the add-ons that I'm going to show you how we do. Okay, so then when I made my book, I went ahead and adhered this down to my book and then worked at it from inside the book. So that's what we're going to do, because that's what I did. All right, so here's our book. And this last piece, piece C, this is what's going to glue down into the book. Okay, so we're going to put glue on all 3 sides, and we're going to center it so it is roughly, let's see, roughly about a 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay, and I have to confess, I did eyeball it, because that's what I do. But when you do that, 1/2 inch all the way around once it's open, and it worked out pretty good. Okay, so let me get my glue. And you're gonna want to use, you know, a good fair amount, because we want it to stick really good. Okay. So this not only adheres it to the book, but it also creates a pocket on the very back of the book, which is, you know, really cool, and yet another place to put all your wonderful stuff. All right, so get that. And excuse my head, sorry. We're going to lay that down. There we go. And we're going to open it up. This pocket will be covered with patterned paper. Okay. There you go. So once that is good and dry, that is the binding piece for our book. Okay, So, yeah, that was it's a pretty simple design. I kind of came up with it just by playing around, and it worked really, really good. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So, there we go. So, again, what we've got, this is adhered to the book. Page A, front, back. Page B, front. You flip it this way, you got page B, back. Page C, front. Page C, back. D, front and back, and then your binding. Okay? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. It looks really complicated because of all of the add-ons that I put in it, which bulked it up and made it awesome. But the cool part is that when I put this in, and I like how kind of flexible everything is, so, you know, it was easy to add all of this stuff onto the book, even when it was laying in the book, you know? So, yeah, it worked out really good. Worked out really good. Okay, so, let's start with page A. And page A, if we recall, is the page that has the tags, and this will be tied together with a bow. And then when you open the tags, you have the cards that come out of these bands, and lots of places for photos. So, put that back over here. What you're gonna need are, first off, a couple tags, okay? And I created these tags out of the cardstock, and they are 3 inches by 5 3/8. And on the 5 3/8 side, you're gonna wanna make a 1/2 inch score. You're gonna wanna make a tag shape, and you're gonna wanna punch a hole. Okay, pretty simple. And then what you're gonna do, take your ruler and center it right in the middle of that first page. And stick it down. So it should go to the 1.5 inch mark on either side of the 0 on your ruler. And stick it down. And then do the same for the other side. I'm going to flip it around. This project is big. I stuck it down to my book first because I thought if I make all of the stuff that I wanted to make on it and then tried to stick it down, it would be absolutely impossible to do and get it nice and straight. So that is one of the reasons why I did that. Which means you're going to have to do a lot of flipping with the book, you know, back and forth, and you have to have a kind of a big workspace to do it. But it is what it is, because honestly, with all of that bulk that I ended up adding into the book, there was going to be no way that I was going to be able, you know, to put it in nicely. Okay, so we've got our tags ready to go. Okay, so they'll fold over like that, and then you'll be able to put ribbon or twine through it and close that shut. That's the closure for this particular thing. Second thing you're going to want to do on this page is you're going to want to put your pattern paper down. I've already pre-taped it and pre-inked it. Don't have to ink the edges, obviously, but if you want to, it's awesome. And then you're going to stick that down, and that's going to cover the tag pieces, okay, where you put them down. All right, and I cut them 1/4 inch shorter and less wide than the actual page itself. So the pattern paper for the full-size pages, all of them will measure 7 1/4 by 9 3/4. Okay, so then once you do that, then we're going to add our 2 bands that are going to hold our tags. Okay, and so what we're going to do, these are just simply glued on, and we're going to glue them at 3/8 of an inch from the top and at 5 3/8 inch from the top. Okay, so I'm going to turn the book, let's turn it this way, and I'm going to grab my glue, and when I say from the top, it's the top of the actual page itself, not the pattern paper. Okay, so I'm talking about the cardstock. So put on a nice bit of glue, and at 3/8 inch from the top, now let's see, how am I going to do this? Let's do it like this. It's always a little more awkward when you're doing it on video, isn't it, ladies? Okay, so I'm going to measure 3/8 of an inch down, which is right about there. And I'm going to stick it down. Okay. There's my dog again, checking on me, making sure I'm doing all right. Ace always comes in and checks on me. Zeke doesn't come in. Not unless Daddy's home. All right, so then second piece. Same thing, add your glue. And then at 5/8 inch from the top, 5 and 3/8 inch from the top. So let's measure 5 and 3/8 inch from the top. So right about there. And the reason for the measurements is so that it's just nice and straight and the cards are even from the top and the bottom, okay? All right. And then glue that down, okay? Pretty simple. Pretty simple little band. The first book I made it a lot more complicated than this, and I was like, why did I do that? No, this is perfect here. All right, so make sure they're nice and adhered. Score tape is probably not a good option for that because score tape does kind of remain sticky, and when you're using tags, you don't want them to stick. So the glue is a better option because it will dry and it will not cause your tags and cards and whatnot to stick. So then you're going to need to make the cards, okay? And these are basically just cardstock cut at 6.5 by 9, and I scored on the 9-inch side at 4.5, and that's it. And then those just fit in here. And when you put pattern paper on all of that, it looks fabulous. Okay, so that's it. That's all she wrote. Okay, so that's page number 1. Then you're going to take this guy here, and what I did was I just took a piece of twine, and I'm going to cover this with pattern paper, but I'm just going to close this just so you can see. Just put that in there, and looped it through, and then one of these guys goes through the top tag, and then that's what you tie it shut with. Okay, and I like this tie because it's so I use twine over ribbon because the ribbon tends to fray. It's also harder to get through the little hole, and it's a little bit expandable, so you know, when you get the bulk in there with all the cards and stuff, it works out much nicer. Okay, so that was the front of page A. So now we're going to do the back of page A, and let me show you. The back of page A is this one right here, and it has a nice large tag. It has this fold-out pocket. Depending on what kind of paper you use, you could do journaling here. You could put smaller pictures there if you want, if you have really super pretty pattern paper. But that is a magnet closure right there. And then this can either hold 4 by 6 or 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 cardstock mat for photos, or like you could do like I did and make 2 little cards with 3 by 4 cutouts. Okay. So let me show you how to make those pockets and how to attach everything. Oh, and the back part here has a pocket as well. Okay, with a magnet closure. So, let's do that. And I'm going to get rid of this for just a second so we can make the pockets. All right, so page A on the back. There's a little magnet. All right, so you're going to need some cardstock. You're going to need one piece that's 11 by 3.5, and you're going to score it on 3 sides. Okay, and then you're going to need one that is 10 by 3.5, and you're going to score it on one side only. Okay, this piece right here is going to be the tab that attaches to the page. So this part is the pocket that is created, and it actually will go like this because it's going to go on the left hand or the right hand side of the page. Okay, so this will be the pocket. This will be the tab that puts it on the page. Okay, so super simple. Now you can do like I did, and I added a bead of glue right in the middle and created 2 separate pockets. I kind of felt like that held smaller tags better. Let's see here. So line it up, and you can line up right to the edge. Whoop. Right to the edge, like that. Then you can open it up, make sure it's down, and then close the sides. Oh, Michelle, I'll fix that later. Okay, and then if you want the bead of glue, so I'm going to do the bead of glue again because I liked it. So just right down the middle, and you can just eyeball it if you want. If you want to measure it, you can do that too. And then glue that down. And I will have to fix that. And I will. That's not good. Okay, so there's the tab that attaches to the page. Okay, so then if we take our book and we turn page, so we're on the back of page A, and we're going to take this tab and we're going to attach it here. All right. So I'm going to line it up on the edge and stick it down. Okay, so now we have that side flap and we have 2 pockets. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we need 2 pieces. So this is the closure piece that I showed you, and then this is the back pocket. Okay? So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to lay this down on our book. Then we're going to put the pocket on, and then we're going to slide the pattern paper underneath, which will cover these tabs and help you get your tags in and out. Okay? So get our book again. Back of page A. So we're going to take this guy. It's going to adhere right in the middle, just like so. And this piece is what's going to make the closure with the magnet. And get your handy dandy ruler so you know where the center mark is. This one I'm not going to eyeball because I want to make sure I get it right. So right to the score line, but not over the score line. Okay. And then let's do this the right way this time so I don't tear a chunk out of my paper. Then this is just going to lay right over the top. Line it up right at the score line, over the tag piece that we just laid down. Okay, and that's going to go over just like that. I'll adhere the sides. Okay, one down there, one up here. Okay, and then this guy will slip right under there, covering all the tabs so that you can slide tags in and out super easy. Okay, and I will stick that down later, but I wanted to show you that. And so then all that's left to do is, if I can get this thing off of it, is put the magnets on. And I used a small magnet for this, and I'm just gonna stick it there, and then, oh, awesome, this the sticky came off. Okay, cool. Well, we'll fix that, right? We know how to fix that. All right, so this is gonna go over just like, come on now. Oh man, that's awesome. I am batting 1,000 today. I have had video issues. I've had all kinds of issues. Let's see if that's gonna work. Did I do it backwards? I did. Oh my goodness. You guys, help me. There we go. Okay. So, well, I did it again. Okay. Okay. I think after this video is done, I'm going to stop for a while because I think I should just, like, you know, quit while I'm ahead. All right. All right. Boom. Done. Jeez, that was hard. Okay. So, magnet closure. Okay, so that's that. So we did page A. So we've got our tags, we've got our pull-out cards with the bands, and then we also have our back page with a 4x6 photo flip on either side, both sides if you want. We have a tag pocket, which is a double tag pocket, and then we have a large pocket. All right, back of page A. So next, back of page B. Now back of page B is a waterfall, and I know y'all have done waterfalls before. Okay, so the front of page B, this is the waterfall assembly. Okay, we've all done waterfalls. What's different about this waterfall is the way that I put it down, because you have two side pockets for 3x4 cutouts and this cool little belly band closure with a slide. So let's do that one. And then I think I might stop for today, and we'll do the rest another time. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you need your waterfall base. Let's get rid of this book for just a second so you can see better. Okay, so you're going to need a waterfall base, and that base is 9 by 4.5. And then you're going to want to make 5 pages for the waterfall that are 4.5 by 7, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch on the 7-inch side. Okay, so that'll give you a vertical waterfall page, which will adhere onto there. Okay, so let's do that super quick. And you know the routine. Lay it on the base, okay, and then line it up, flip it up, get your next page, butt that up right against the one before it, okay, just like that. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay. So then this will end up with a lot of room for pictures, which is awesome. There we go. Alright. Doing the waterfall. Love it. It's a nice way of getting a whole lot of pictures in one page. That is for sure. Alright, last one. Okay, so on these I made it so that you could put pattern paper or plain cardstock like I showed in my example to border your pictures as you put them in, but the 4x6 pictures will work on that. Okay, so there's your waterfall. So then you need the closure. So the closure, there's two pieces. So you're going to need a 1.5 inch by 11 inch piece, and on this piece, the 11.5 inch side, you're going to have several scores. So I'm going to read them off to you. So at 2 7/8, 3, 3 1/8, 7 7/8, 8, and 8 1/8. Okay, so that gives a little kind of rolly wiggle room on your closure. Okay, so again, the scores on the 11 inch side of this 1.5 by 11 piece is 2 7/8, 3, 3 1/8, 7 7/8, 8, and 8 1/8. Okay, so that gives you that. This is going to wrap around and go around your waterfall. Okay, so then you're going to need the closure, or the little slider closure. So this is a piece that is 1 5/8 inch by 4 7/8 inch, and you're going to make some scores on this one as well at 1 5/8, 1 3/4, and then 3 3/8, and 3 1/2. Okay, so again, this is 1 5/8 inch by 4 7/8 inch, and you're going to score at 1 5/8, 1 3/4, 3 3/8, and 3 1/2. And it's going to make just a nice little tube. So I put some score tape on, and you're just going to make it into a little tube. Okay, just like that. Okay, all right, so then this belly band here, this is going to go down the middle of your book. All right, so we're gonna have to find your midline here, and looks like that's at about 4 1/2. Okay, and then you can add this is going to be a little touch wider than your book, or than your waterfall, but that's because you're going to have to add some pictures. So don't go all the way to the score with your glue. Just kind of do it so you leave the scores kind of completely free by about 1/4 inch. Okay? So I know it's kind of hard to see, but here's the last score line, and then you can see where my glue starts. Okay? Here's the last score line, you can see where my glue starts. Okay? So then right about in the middle, and then you can glue this bad boy down. Okay? And this is, it's 1.5 inches wide, so if you're using your ruler, it's right around the 3/4 inch mark, right about in the middle. Okay? And then you can turn it over and you can kind of wiggle it around before it dries and sets. Okay? Alright. Cool. Just like that. And then this guy goes over, and then when you close it, let's see, make it easier for you to see. Piece of paper. Come on, piece of paper. Okay, so this slider goes there. When you put your band, you slide it all the way to the side and go like that. So it's just like one of those like file folder slidey things. That's pretty much what it is. It's just made out of paper. Okay, and that keeps it nice and closed. And then when you want to look at the pictures, you slide it to, you know, one side or the other and open it up. And then when this gets covered with pattern paper, it is really nice and sturdy. And there's a lot of overlap with these so that, you know, there's a little room for expansion. Okay? So then when you, the next thing you need to do is we're going to adhere it to the pattern paper. And it's going to just, you know, get centered, just right in the middle. But what we're going to do is, and I'm going to take this off just so it doesn't flip around. What we're going to do is we're going to adhere it with glue in an H kind of shape, or an I shape, I should say. Okay, so we're going to put some glue up at the top and the bottom, and then right down the middle. This is what's going to give you your tuck spots for other little cards on either side. Pretty clever, huh? I thought so. I was pretty tickled with myself when I figured that out. So I'm going to stand up so I can kind of, I'm going to eyeball it again. Then just do like that and glue it down. There you go. That is that. That is that. So now you'll have some tuck space in the side, on both sides. So all those little 3x4 cards that we get in the sets, they'll go right in there. And the midline is closed so they won't get lost. Now, the other thing you could do is if you really wanted to, you could leave that middle part out and just have it completely open so you could actually put more, you know, larger things back there if you wanted to. Okay? So now that that piece is done, we're just going to put it onto our page, like so. I'm loving how this is turning out. I think this is pretty cool. I hope you guys like this. Please let me know if you do. I really would like to know if I'm not making sense, I'm going too fast. If you just have more questions, let me know. I like sharing my ideas, and I'm hoping that it's something that someone else can use. All right, so there we go. So that's the front page of B. As you can see, this is shaping up pretty nice. Shaping up pretty nice. Okay, shall we do another one? Let's do another one. Let's do the back of page B, and then we'll do the rest in another video. Okay, so one more, and then we will be done. Okay, so the back of page B, look at this example. Okay, so this is the one we just did. So the back of this is what I call a never-ending mini album. I've seen this done with other books. I've done these before. So it's a really cool way of being able to put things together and get a lot of real estate out of one book. So it's adhered by one piece, but it has quite a lot of places to put pictures. Okay, and then it's just done with a simple ribbon closure. So I'll show you real quick how to put that bad boy together, and then I think we'll be done for today, and then we'll come back and do the other videos another day. Because quite frankly, it's like almost noon my time, and I haven't eaten anything yet today, and I'm hungry, so you gotta eat, right? Okay, so page B on the back, what I'm calling my never-ending mini album. So basically, it's super simple. So we've got our base page of pattern paper that we're going to use, and then we need 3 pieces of cardstock. They're all going to be 10 by 7 inches, and you're going to have 2 of them that you're going to score at 5 inches. So you're just basically going to make a card. So again, these are 10 by 7, and you're going to take 2 of them and score them at 5 inches and just make a card. The second one, or the third one, excuse me, is going to be 10 by 7 as well, okay? But you're going to make 3 score lines. You're going to score it at 4.5, 5, and 5.5. Okay? So 4.5, 5, and 5.5. All right, and then when you score this, you're gonna, fold it in half, but then you're gonna fold it back on itself, okay? And you're gonna add score tape to the inner score folds. All right, and then to put this together is pretty simple. And I've done this with envelopes, which is kind of cool because then they create natural pockets, and then it makes it even more interactive. But anyway, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your first 2 cards like that, and then you're going to take your piece with your score tape and you're going to basically adhere those cards onto either side of that score tape, okay? So one will go one way, one will go the other way. I find it easiest if you kind of stick it in the fold. And line it up, not quite on the score line, you know the routine, okay? And then do it with the other one. Okay. So then you're going to end up with a piece that looks like that. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see that. All right, and that's it. That's it. And that gives you all of this real estate. You can add little pockets to it to put tags in. You could put pictures on it. Choice is yours. So when I do it, obviously these shorter pages with the extra score are going to go on the inside. So I just do it like it's going to open in a book. So then this would be my back side. So pretty straightforward ribbon closure, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Put some score tape down. And then I've got my ribbon here in the middle, and you can, measure it out about 3.5 inches there. And then add some more score tape and put it on your page. And then this one is complete. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple, but pretty neat in that it gives you so much room to put more pictures. And I don't know about you, I love interactive albums, and I love different, things to pull out and open, and I've always been a fan of like pop-up books and stuff like that, and I guess that's what the deal is. It reminds me of my childhood with pop-up books, and I just love them. I think they're really cool. So then just take your piece right in the middle of your page. If you have pretty pattern paper, you might want to put it off to the side a little bit, which I think I'm going to do on this one. Just because I don't want to cover up a lot of that. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to offset it just a little bit so I can see that. Haha! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so then tie your bow, and that's your closure on that little never-ending mini album style. So then we're going to put it in our book. Let's grab our book. All right, so A, back of A, front of B, back of B. That's where this guy's gonna go. And that will give us 2 out of the 4 base pages covered. And the next video will cover the rest of them. So I'm just gonna center this onto, excuse my head, sorry. There we go. Okay. There, done. Ta-da! That's cool. Offsetting it a little bit, showing the paper. I like that. All right. Okay, guys. We're going to stop for today, and I will come back and we'll finish the rest of the book. But look at what we've got done so far. This is really neat. It's turned out really nice. turned out really, really nice. I like it. Alright, I hope y'all have a good day, and I will see you in the next video, and we'll get this guy put together the rest of the way, and have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye!